All music is the same. It's just a new set of lyrics and a new backbeat.
All right, AndreGraziadei here for the Backbeat experience in a chat with the precious Beth Hart today. Thanks a lot for taking time out again to have a chat.
Absolutely,
Follow
my
up.
pleasure.
You were hardly done with Better Than Home, and you started work on the new album.
Yes.
So
this is just how, sum it up in a nutshell. I've been working on Better Than Home for quite a while, not in the studio, but the writing of it. And I was really challenged by the two producers, Michael Stevenson and Rob Mathis. They really wanted a certain thing from me. They wanted me to dig down and all my most personal stuff. Well, everything is always personal. I don't know how to write someone else's story, but some things are more confessional and they're deeper scars and things to talk about and look at from different perspectives. So it was a heavy record to write, and a lot of things I turned in, they passed, that I loved, and they passed on. So Michael Stevens was diagnosed with cancer, stomach cancer, and he continued to work his butt off on the record. We went into the studio in New York, we recorded the record in 7 days, and I ended up going into the psych ward during that record, and then when I got home I went in again. Because I think that I don't deal well with heavy-duty stresses like that, and it really can trigger me. And so I was so miserable when I got home from New York, and then when I got out of the hospital the second time, I called my head of my label and I said, will you please let me go and make another record right now? He's like, well, you don't like Better Than Home? And I said, no. I said, that's not it. I mean, Better Than Home's not done. They're haven't mixed it yet. But I need to go in and make another record because I kind of feel like I'm someone that just fell off a horse, and if I don't get back on, I'm not going to get back on again. And so he said yes. So I called Oliver Lieber, old friend of mine. I've done work with him in the past. He's a wonderful producer, wonderful artist. And I went to his house, and he saw my arms, were like kind of all cut up, and he's like, how are you doing, And he's an amazing person in recovery for a long time. He's got a lot of years in recovery. And so he could see, that I wasn't doing well. And I said, well, this is what's going on. I'm going to send you a bunch of songs that I have. And I've been writing this week as well. And just let you see what's going on. And I had a ton of stuff left over from Better Than Home. And then, plus I was still writing, like every day I was writing more and more stuff. So I just sent him everything, just like on Better Than Home record. And he said, yeah, let's do it. So we put together a band in like a couple weeks. And we made Fire on the Floor in 3 days. So Fire on the Floor was done in terms of recording it before Better Than Home was even mixed.
You were in the groove.
Well, yeah, there was just a lot of stuff going on. And I was really lucky to have a label owner like Ed, man. Ed is the most bitchin' guy in the world. He's like old school, the way they used to do it.
In the 60s, too.
Yeah, like the Ahmet Erdogan's, they would sign artists that they knew didn't even get on mass radio, but they were fans of them. Oh. And they signed them because they love their music, and Ed is like, he signs artists that, are not necessarily pop artists, but they're artists that he loves and believes in.
Is this the head of Mascot?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got really lucky that I got to do that. I mean, I really thought he was going to say no, but I was just like,
okay.
And he was just like, yeah. I was like, dude, I love you so much.
I always wonder when you're writing stuff, because you write on guitar and piano.
And bass, yeah.
And bass.
Yeah.
So you're writing your material, and then eventually you bring it into the studio. And I always really wonder how that magic works. You guys record, and then how do you put in like the backgrounds, let's say, whatever else? For me, when you're writing something, it's in your head. And,
yes. So when I write,
the thing gets filled.
Well, when I write, though, I'm writing the music on the piano, or I'm writing all the music, not just changes, but specific lines that either a guitar will take, or an organ will take, or a bass player will take. So there are specific lines in there and things, and then I arrange it, and then I turn it in. And I don't make like demos in a studio where I layer a bunch of music. I just use whatever instrument I'm writing it on as that's it, and then I turn that into the producer. And so it's pretty much speaks for itself, but then the producer and then the musicians that he hires, of course, are going to put their thing on it, of course. Yes. And it's not writing, but it's just like, it's inspiration that they get from that line, or just the way, the style in which they play it. But everything is done live simultaneously. So we don't go in and do a drum fucking track and then layer a bass, and then we don't do that. Everybody's in their place. I'm at the vocal mic. If I'm on piano, then I'm behind the piano with the mic, and everything is done live. Then later on, if there need to be fix-its, that will be done, or things like backgrounds, I'll do that later.
Okay.
But the whole basic of the whole track is really what it is right then and there. Yeah.
I always wondered about that.
Yeah, I didn't used to do it like that early in my life, and I hated making records. And it wasn't until I made a record called 37 Days that me and my band, we all did it live like that. And we fell in love with it. And then I made another record after that, My California, that I did everything live with, I thought it was going to be an acoustic record. So I did everything piano and vocal, or guitar. Room would play guitar and vocal. And then we ended up layering music on it, and I was very disappointed that I didn't say something about that, because it took away from what the intention was, you know? I think it's a beautiful record, but it's not what it could have been.
My California?
Yeah.
I think it's a good effort.
Thank you.
It is.
Thank you. It's just, it was so magical when it was just one instrument. And, you know, because that's what the design of those kind of songs were, to be so intimate and so little information and really based on the lyric, you know? But I learned a big lesson from that, you know? That was a good learning experience, and I love that record, and I love Ronan. Ronan and I wrote everything on the record together, and I'd never done that kind of co-write before. But then, like, when I worked with Joe Bonamassa, my first record with Joe for Don't Explain, oh, it was like incredible. It was like, I get there, I never met with any of them before, not the producer, not Joe, nobody. I walked in the studio, and he said, go to your mic, went to the mic, the band was set up, didn't even hear how they were going to lay those songs down, and we did everything, boom, right there that day.
Well, that's Kevin. Waste no time.
Killer. Yeah, we did that. It was a total of 4 days for that record. And it was just brilliant. It was just, and I knew, I called David Wolf, my manager, during the making of that record. I said, you got to get Kevin to do my next solo record, because that's exactly how I want to do it. And ever since then, that's just the way I like to do it. I won't do it any other way.
That's what they did in the 60s. They recorded together in a room.
Yeah, man.
So.
Yeah.
So there you go.
And if there is, like, whatever a mistake really means, it becomes the most beautiful part of the track. It's that human.
Yeah.
You know?
The human quality.
Yes.
I was watching the recordings that you had posted for track by track on the album. I think that's a great offer for the fans, you know, the fan connection. The description of the little anecdotes about every song. I think that's great. I'm going to use it for when I play this interview on the radio.
We're doing a thing.
Scott.
Just, hey, how you doing?
Hi.
5 more minutes, okay?
5 more minutes.
5 more minutes.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little longer than 5 more minutes?
Okay, 10 then, be done.
At least 10.
10, that's all you get.
Because we just started.
We just started.
Yeah, you know me, I talk, so he gets one question in for the whole freaking thing, then we're done.
15 minutes.
Thank you, Scotty.
Love you. Thank
Love you
too. He's the best in the world.
Oh, definitely. You did the Hendrix Experience concert with Kenny Wayne Shepherd.
Yes.
So.
And Johnny Lang.
I mean.
And Zach Wilde.
Amazing.
And freaking, oh God, he was so amazing. Dweezil Zappa, unbelievable.
Okay.
Yeah, they're, everybody on there was so good. So great. I was so intimidated. Terrified, actually.
Really?
Oh, yeah, man. And you know, I only did 2 weeks with them on the road.
No.
For that, I caught the end of the tour. And it wasn't until the last performance that I felt like I finally was finding my way.
Okay.
And I guess that's just kind of the way it works sometimes. I don't know. But they're all brilliant people. And those songs are, I mean, I never was a huge Hendrix fan.
What inspires you most about Hendrix? What do you admire most?
The songwriting, yes.
That was some of the stuff he didn't write.
Yes.
Dylan did. So, but then
but
himself, yeah.
Well, yeah, like a couple of songs that I did were his,
Yeah.
and they were they're beautifully written, musically, lyrically, you know, everything about it. I was very like blown away by that. Because I was aware what a great performer he was, and I was aware of what an inventive guitar player he was. You know, everybody's aware of that. When you just watch any of those live things and you go, dude. But the songwriting was what really thrilled me and made me feel very honored I was getting to do it. And being amongst that company, killer. Yeah, Johnny Lane, unbelievable motherfucker. Oh my God.
Well, I think he's coming out with a new album. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very soon.
He's great. And Kenny, I knew that Kenny was always a great player, but I opened for Kenny many, many years ago when I was 22 at the Dragonfly in LA. And he was like 16 or 17. And he was incredible. But it's so beautiful when you get to see someone as they grow older, how much deeper and richer they become as a human, as an artist, as a player, as a singer. Especially when they take care of themselves, and they really focus in. Like Joe Bonamassa, always been brilliant, but you hear his voice now, and he's just getting stronger and more amazing as a singer. And it's just neat. It's neat to see that. I love it. I get so inspired by that. Really cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
How do you get psyched up before the gigs? I mean, there's some gigs are okay and some are like huge. I mean, I think of Kennedy Centers.
Not getting psyched up is the key. Don't get psyched up.
Don't get psyched up.
No, just the opposite. The more relaxed, the less you take yourself and what you do seriously, the better. I mean, it's all in the preparation, isn't it? I mean, exercising and doing all your scales and learning your shit and stretching your body out and getting as connected you can, I think spiritually, whatever it is your spiritual form. But most importantly, we're not special, we're servants. So if I am aware of that, I've got a job to do to go out and serve the audience, then I'm in a mellow place. But if I'm in a place of ego of, I need them to think I'm great tonight, then the show is bullshit. It doesn't go anywhere.
Exactly.
You're not
being yourself.
Yeah, and there's no room for spirit. If it's all about me, there's no room for anything else, and it sucks.
So you've been doing shows pretty much a lot of different places you haven't played before.
Yeah.
You're going to be doing Moscow this year?
Oh, I've been doing Moscow.
Oh, you've been to Moscow? Okay.
We've been doing Russia for a couple of years now. Several years now.
And then
we did India recently.
India?
We've never been in India before.
Okay.
And we did Israel this past year. We never did that before. We just did Turkey. That was killer. So yeah, we're getting to some new joints. It's nice.
Different. How do the crowds reacting there?
Incredible.
Really?
It's funny. It's people are people, man. No matter where you go. You know.
True.
And like we went to what is that called? And it's not Russia. It's
Ukraine.
Yeah, no, not Ukraine.
No?
It's another part that we went. It used to be a part of the Soviet Union, I believe.
Okay.
And it was weird. It was like we were like the Beatles. Like we got off the freaking plane and it was just like, it was crazy.
Really?
Yeah, it was really weird. And everyone was 18, 19, 20. And my audience is either my age or much older.
Right.
And that was a trip. But in Turkey it was that way too. It was all young kids. So it's just funny.
So it's nice to see both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to get. But I do think that people are basically people wherever you go, which I love.
Right.
I love that.
Now you're playing Royal Albert Hall next year.
I know.
You've checked that one off your list.
Well, we played it before, but we played it in a festival. So this will be our first solo show here. And I'm looking forward to that. The thing I'm not looking forward to that I can feel it, I guess the nerves come up in my system is that when my family and friends could fly out to be there.
Okay.
Because I don't like to know when anyone that I know is in the crowd.
I know how that feels because
you know what I mean?
I did some stand-up back in the 80s, and if you got family,
oh my God!
Yeah,
you see it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know you did stand-up.
Yeah, I did in Montreal.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
When I was a teenager, I mixed sound for the comedians at the Comedy Store in Hollywood.
Okay.
Yeah, I did it upstairs in the belly room.
Cool.
I spent years there. I love the comics are the freaking geniuses of all geniuses. Because you guys have no props.
No.
You don't have music. You don't have a cute little sexy outfit to do a dance.
Unless you're Carrot Top, then you have nothing but props.
Right, then you've got nothing but props. But otherwise, it's just all the intellect, isn't it? I mean, that's a tough gig, man.
It is.
Wow.
I'm thinking back to the story you told about how you acquired your house now.
Yeah.
The story you told me, that's really nice.
Yeah.
I thought about that when I was listening to No Place Like Home.
Yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad you said that because I'm going to put that on the list tonight. No Place Like Home. Yeah.
So my question is, what's the first thing you do when you get home?
I kiss my dog, and then I hug Hans, who stays at our house and watches Stella.
Okay.
keeps everything running. He's the best. He's a surfer. He actually is a homeless guy. He lives
Really?
out of his van.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when we're away, he lives at our house. And we're away like 7-8 months out of the year, so he's got this big ass house. This is his place, and then he goes back to his van.
Okay.
But he's the most humble, radical dude in the world. Totally soulful.
He's just
guy.
gnarly.
He's just soulful, man. So he knows how to live. You know, I guess that sounds weird because he lives out of a van, but like his whole life is like surfing and humility and love and just chilling. And he's great. He's great. He saves us, man. He takes care of our dog and my bird. I got a little canary.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you played Hootenanny, Jules Holland, for New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
How cool was that?
It was really cool. And I got to see Rhiannon Gibbons. I discovered her there. She's a brilliant American artist. She was trained classically as an opera singer and really sang, live. She toured as an opera singer. There's like 6 great opera singers. That's like the toughest gig in the world. And then she said, nah, I'm going to try something else. And she started writing. She started this band called Lemon Drops. God, I can't remember that. And she got all these Grammys for it. I didn't ever see any of that. But then she's doing her own soul thing now. And she is a real special artist. You can't say what kind of music it is. I guess kind of Americana, but she's so special. And that was my favorite part about doing that show, was getting to discover her. And then, of course, have Jules play piano on Tell You.
I mean, I grew up listening to Squeeze music.
Yeah.
So, and was that show actually on New Year's Eve? Or was it
No,
recorded?
no, I think we recorded it for her.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was kind of wondering, what was your most memorable New Year's Eve?
God, what's been my most memorable New Year's Eve? I don't think
I mean, there's been...
my favorite thing to do
Put it this
is...
way, there's about 40 of them that you could maybe look back on.
Yeah, you know, I've never been one to go out. I've done some shows on New Year's Eve.
Okay.
But really, what I like to do is I like to make dinner, and I like to chill out and watch the ball drop, drinking sparkling Marinellis. I'm like totally like old lady on New Year's.
All right.
And also, like, in LA, a lot of people shoot guns off at night at New Year's. I don't want any bullets come down my head, man. Just go home and chill out, and
That's what we've been doing the past couple of years, just stay home and chill.
Stay home and chill. Everybody's out there going crazy and having fun. Good for you while watching on TV.
Right.
Yeah.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Now, you've collaborated with Jeff Beck, Neil Schon, back in 2005.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Buddy Guy qualifies for Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He's more blues.
He qualifies as the most rock and roll Hall of Fame.
Okay, all right, so I'll scratch that thought there. But what would that mean to you if you were to be inducted?
Oh my God. I would figure I'd have a heart attack. I wouldn't even make it to the ceremony. Oh my God, are you kidding? I mean, forget it. I mean, that would be insane. That would be insane. Insane.
It's not to be not
Dude,
considered.
so below the radar. Nobody even knows I exist.
Oh, come on,
Come
please.
on. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I could sit here and say, oh, it doesn't matter. It's all about music and making music, and there is truth to that. But there is something really wonderful too about your peers recognizing you. Like I remember when Sky woke me up and said, "Hey, you and Joe got nominated for a Grammy for Seesaw." And I couldn't believe it. And it made me feel so happy. I didn't go to the ceremony, but because Joe wasn't going. So I felt funny about that.
Right.
But it just totally tickled me beyond.
But that's your justification.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
If someone says, hey, we like you a lot, we're going to nominate you for something. That's pretty cool.
That's right.
Yeah.
I had a train of thought there, and I think I lost it. But
I think I even know what your train of thought was on that.
Yeah.
We were talking about Below the Radar?
no, it's okay. It's gone. But we'll go on to something else.
Okay.
Life is precious. I mean, we only have
Oh
one.
my God. Well, I don't think we only have one, but it definitely is precious.
Well, who knows? Who really knows? There's nobody out there that's come back to tell us about it. But fame and fortune, some people deal with it, others maybe less. I mean, Chris Cornell, what happened there?
Oh God, I don't know. I just think it's so sad that he was in that much pain to do something like that to himself.
Yeah, I think it was very much a surprise to him. I mean, there was knowledge that he had personal problems.
Well, he had severe depression for years and years and years, and trying to self-medicate, of course, like any natural human being would do.
Mm-hmm.
You're in pain, you want to be out of pain. He was so beautiful as a songwriter and as a singer, as we all know.
Did you ever meet him?
I did.
Yeah.
I did, I played Lollapalooza with them way back in the 90s. and I got to go backstage and meet him. I was the biggest fan in the world, always have been, and I just couldn't even hardly swallow when I was meeting him. But he was incredibly down to earth. I just was so dumbstruck, by his. I mean, he's beautiful, beautiful man, and then also that voice, and the songwriter in him was just incredible. Yeah. When I heard about it, I got really, really upset. But one of the things that I was praying to God about was that it didn't happen by overdose. I didn't even think for a second it would be by suicide. And I went on to the show, and then after, when I heard, how he did it, it's just the level of pain you got to be in to do something like that.
I always wondered about that.
It's bad.
Sorry, Beth. I didn't know.
It's okay. It just makes me think about, like mental illness and how many people want to give up. I know I want to give up so many different times, but there are so many answers. I mean, there really is good medication. There's God. There's meditation. There's vitamin therapy. There's exercise. There's surrounding yourself with loving people. There's forgiving yourself for being human. Forgiving others for being human. There's so many answers,
Exactly. I mean, Robin Williams himself said it was a permanent solution to a temporary problem, but then again, he took that route. I mean, who's to understand that?
I know. Just all I can say is we pray for the family and the friends that are suffering so much right now for his loss. He's free. He's off doing another thing,
Right.
But I mean, who knows? Like you said, who knows?
Now I remember what I was wanting to say.
Oh, okay.
You were. I told you a couple of years ago. You were in the springtime. The second springtime of your career. Actually, right now you're in like high summer.
Oh, things have been going nice.
Yeah, I think the last say 5 years has been like for you.
Definitely opened up.
Yeah.
Yes. Good.
That's what I was trying to think of. Now this is more of a personal question. Your biological clock is ticking. Any motherly feelings there?
No. I would never. I'm bipolar. I would never do that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just because I would have to go off medication, which I cannot do, being pregnant, and then also I wouldn't want to subject a kid to my roller coaster.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's tough enough on Scott.
Right.
Not that I think that there are people that are bipolar that shouldn't have kids. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying for me, I think that I would really, really fuck somebody up. So, no, not for me.
All right.
Yeah.
That's okay. I mean, unfortunately, we don't have kids, but
But I gotta tell you, man, not having kids is pretty freaking cool. I mean, we can do whatever the frick we want, whenever the frick we want, go wherever we want, We have animals that we love.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I think I can't even imagine how beautiful it is to have children, but I don't know what that is.
Right.
I just know that the life we have a lot to be grateful for. Can't complain.
All right. To close this discussion off, I have either or.
See it?
Massage or bubble bath?
Oh God, I love massage, but I take a bubble bath every day.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, salt baths. I really am a salt baths.
So bubble bath.
So no, I mean, well, yeah, I guess I would go because I do that more. Yeah, but you know that Bob Hope had one done every single day.
What?
Bob Hope.
What did he
Remember
have?
Bob Hope? A massage.
Massage, really?
Every single day. He lived to be really old. He was great.
Maybe that's a hint. I don't know. High heels or flip flops?
Both. It depends. High heels to perform because it's so sexifying.
Okay.
But barefoot also to perform. That's either or.
You used to do that.
Yeah, I'm going to do that tonight.
Okay.
Also, my biker boots I like to perform in as well with a dress.
Cool.
That's fun. But I'm in flip flops right now, so I mean both. I guess it just depends on the mood. Yeah.
Cooking dinner yourself or being served dinner?
Oh, cooking dinner for sure. Well, cooking is the sexiest thing in the world. We love cooking, man. It's our thing. And Scott is a great cook.
It's not about me.
And I love to cook. I love to cook.
Okay.
Love it.
Shopping or gardening?
Gardening, hands down.
Ding.
And I love to shop with Scott.
Yeah.
I don't go shopping by myself, it's not a pretty sight. But gardening, when we get home, I'll go out there at 8:30 in the morning and I will not come into the house till it starts to get dark. And I am covered from head to toe in mud, and I hose myself down throughout the whole day. I can't get enough of it. I love it. It's
Okay.
one of my great joys of life, gardening.
Cool.
Me and him. Remember the other day
Oh, yeah.
when we started on the road?
Hey.
No, and he was so cute because at the end of the day he was covered from head to toe in mud. Also.
Really?
Oh man, we get down out there. We love it.
How many more? How many more?
Just one.
One more.
Guitar or piano?
Piano all day long. Piano's church, man. Piano's an altar. Piano. Yes.
All right, that's it.
Cool.
Beth, thank you.
No, it's so good. You're so good at this,
Thank
man. Thank you so much. I love you. Your questions are always fun and great. And you know what? One of the things I love about how you do an interview is like what I try and do in a show is you take it on a ride of different emotions.
That's what I try to do.
Yeah, it's nice, and it kind of gives the person who's watching a nice larger perspective instead of it being all about a record or all about hardcore
So she
time.
gave you the nice cup and she had a shitty plastic one.
No, I like
You know,
the
that-
plastic cup, man.
You know, Scott, that did not occur to me.
Nothing wrong
But
with plastic. Plastic is good stuff.
All right.
I am not a saint.
Sorry.
He's the saint.
look here and say, you're listening to the Backbeat Experience.
You're listening to the Backbeat Experience. Woo, 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 woo. Baby.
Scott, I told
In love with this country. And every time I come back,
Germany. Really?
I fall more and more in love. I mean, the people are the nicest. Look at the nature. The trees are incredible. These massive trees. Every time we go to eat, it doesn't matter where we go, it's always good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Great country.
And reasonably priced.
Yeah. I love it here. The audiences are great.
Well, they love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay. That's so nice. Love you. Thank you.